cooking for dogs. So you have other videos on my channel where you saw me cooking for dogs, but I thought I'd make a new video to show you what we do here at Van Ganta House Kennels. Today you're going to meet Mrs. Van Ganta House. She's the one responsible for the majority of cooking. So I'll just do the intro and I'll pass it over to Mrs. Van Ganta House. Say hi, Mrs. Van Ganta House.
Hello.
Okay, you begin camera in a second. Alright, so first thing I want to say is that the majority of you probably feeding your dogs kibble. What you'll notice is you need to feed 5 or 6 cups a day, and what you will notice is big poops. That's because there's not a lot of nutritional value in the food, and that's why so much comes out as poop. When the body absorbs all the nutrients it can get, then the poops are very tiny to practically nothing. And you also will notice the water consumption in your dog will go down, because with kibble you're going to see a lot of water consumption. But as the dog is eating nutritious food, the water consumption goes down. So by feeding your dog properly, you are able to cut down on the wasteful input to the dog, and so the more nutrition goes in, the less poop comes out because the body's absorbing it all. Now on the table here, we're going to show how we prepare a meal. Here is 10 pounds of chicken I got at the local supermarket. It's frozen. And this is 10 pounds, this whole container here. I bought 60 pounds worth. 10 pounds for me, along with the carb input I'm going to describe in a minute, lasts for me for 4 German Shepherds 2 days. So this is 2 days worth of food for 4 dogs, for me. For you, depending on the size of your dog and how many dogs you have, this might last a week. Let's talk about cost. For those of you who are comparing cost, let's say you were compared to canned dog food like Pedigree or Science Hill Diet or any of those brands. The last time I checked, 20 years ago, Pedigree cans were about 75 cents a can. Now, if you go to any supermarket, Pedigree supermarket dog canned food, which is not the highest quality, is about $2.50 a can. So 10 cans will cost you $25. 12 cans will cost you nearly $30. Now 12 cans will not last even a week. And well, to feed 4 dogs using a case of 12 cans will cost you, it was costing me $255 every 10 days to feed 4 dogs. That's how much it cost me. It cost me $500 a month to feed canned dog food, which is quite a big bill. Now we're having inflation in the country, as I'm sure all of you know. Everybody's trying to stretch a dollar. And not only do you want to feed your dogs better food and higher quality food, but you also want to stretch a dollar if possible. That being said, let's compare the cost. Here's 10 pounds of chicken. Kathy, can you zoom in on that price sticker? Or
it's 88 cents a pound. It's 10 pounds a package.
So this is 10 pounds at 88 or 89, yeah, 89 cents a pound. This is 12.3 pounds at $11. So this whole 12 pounds of chicken is only $11. That's cheaper with real chicken that you can eat as human grade food for less than the cost of 12 cans of dog food. So this is human grade food, not dog grade dog food. This is more food than 12 cans of dog food for $12 cheaper for the same amount of weight of food than if you bought canned dog food. So for the price of convenience, you're getting to save $12 every 10 pounds. So 60 pounds times $12 savings per every container. Do the math. That's $84 you saved just by switching to chicken versus canned dog food. This alone will feed the same amount of food in terms of poundage, it's by weight the same thing, at $12 cheaper for the same amount of food. This is equal to 12 cans of dog food by weight. So that tells you the arithmetic of the main ingredient, which is chicken. Here I have defrosted chicken liver. Can you capture that price on camera, Kathy?
can just say it. I don't think I can.
It's $2.99 for a pound of chicken liver, and I have this is $3 for a pound. So roughly speaking, $6 gets us 2 pounds of chicken liver. For those who don't know, liver is one of the most nutritious foods you can eat, whether for a human being or for a dog. Beef liver would be more, but the chicken liver will do their job. And so this is highly nutritious. So is this. I usually also buy beef
Heart.
beef hearts and also beef what is that
Stomach.
called? Beef stomachs. What is that called?
Gizzards.
Gizzards. Gizzards are about $1 a pound. So $1 of food, which is actual meat, will cost you $1 for a pound. It doesn't get any cheaper than that. Of course, gizzards will raise the cholesterol of the dog, so you kind of want to take it easy. But I'm just giving you a cost comparison of human-grade food versus canned dog food. And this is 10 times better than Kibble, which is kind of garbage. I mean, you want your dog to have a healthy life, feed it good food. It's as simple as that. It's cheaper to give your dog good food than to have it taken into the vet. It's just simple as that. It's simple logic. Over here we have butternut squash, peeled, and we have red potatoes. What is it called? Butternut squash?
Sweet potatoes.
And this is butternut squash, right? 2 big
Yeah.
butternut squash.
And that's
peeled.
one big one.
That's one big one, and 2. Is this 2 or 3?
Two big ones.
Two big ones. Here we have peas and carrots frozen. You can buy fresh. You can buy frozen. This is
It's more
2 pounds,
convenient to
32
buy
ounces.
frozen than to stand
How
and
much?
peel and chop.
how much is this, Doctor, for 2 pounds?
I would say like maybe $4.
$4 for 2 pounds. That's pretty cheap. So we have 2 bags worth of that. Of course, when you try to feed your dog home cooked food, you cannot make every meal perfectly nutritious and vitamin complete. If you have commercial grade dog food, they add chemicals to the food to add vitamins in. For the vitamins they add to make the food complete, it's not worth the other part of the food, which is, first of all, it doesn't spoil on the shelf. It doesn't go rancid. If you put meat on the shelf for 3 days, it'll go rancid. That's because it's natural. Whatever they put in there to make the kibble not go rancid and it can stay on the supermarket shelf for 30 days and not spoil, I don't know about you, but if something doesn't spoil for 30 days, whatever chemical they're putting in there, I don't think it's good for your dog. So this is fresh. So you have to add vitamins to your dog's food because you may not be nutritionally complete in every meal. So we use New Vet vitamins. These are very, very good. This is joint support. If you have a large breed, like a Great Dane, a Mastiff, a Cane Corso,
Can you show
Presa
the bottle?
Canaria. Does that show up on camera?
Yes.
Can you zoom in on that?
Yeah.
Okay, and you can zoom in on this.
Yes.
And this has vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin C, phosphorus, potassium, zinc, calcium, and selenium, which is necessary. And this has glucosamine, which you need 500 milligrams, chondroitin 250 milligrams, MSM 250 milligrams, vitamin C 50 milligrams, and chicken liver flavor to make it taste good. I've never seen a dog not eat chicken liver. Dogs go gaga over liver, in my opinion. So this, I will put a code up at the top of the screen or the bottom of the screen or in the description. When you order, give us our code and they will know we referred you, and this is good stuff. I suggest you add vitamins to your meal to make it nutritionally complete. In case you don't have a nutritionally complete meal, don't sweat it, because not every meal we eat is nutritionally complete for human beings. But to be nutritionally complete, human beings take a multivitamin, and dogs need a multivitamin also. So I suggest these vitamins. All right.
And also, if you don't have sweet potato or butternut squash and you pressed on time, you can use rice. Also put in a pressure cooker, and it's gonna save some time as well.
Correct. Now that's why I bring up this pressure cooker. This pressure cooker will save you a lot of time. I think you can do what would normally take in a stove about an hour. This will do it in about 30 minutes. So this meal, I'm showing you the raw ingredients here. This is good for 2 days for my dogs. Depending on the size of your dogs and how many dogs you have, this may last you longer. If you want to create food for a week, just do it on the weekend, do meal prep. And you could have enough food for multiple days. For me, this is enough for 2 days for 4 dogs. Alright, through the power of video editing, we're going to go to the next step. Put pause. Okay guys, through the power of video editing, it's now 30 minutes later. Here are the peas and carrots all cooked, nice and cooked. Here's 10 pounds of chicken already cooked. We have 2 machines going in parallel. The big machine is how many pounds? How many quarts? 8 quarts,
8.
right? 8 quarts. This 8-quart pressure cooker was able to cook 10 pounds of chicken without a problem. So 8 quarts of machine size is enough to put 10 pounds of chicken. That's quite a lot of chicken. The veggies are cooked in this machine, and we also cooked rice.
This is the 6-quart.
6-quart machine, and we have
4 cups of rice make 8 cups of cooked rice.
Okay, you heard my wife there. And these are the vegetables which are not cooked yet, they're just cut up.
It's cut up sweet potato and butternut squash.
Right, Katya, so do you want to explain what you're doing? You want to show that you basically prepared things at 2 pots at a time, right? You did the chicken in 1 pot, the veggies in another pot, the rice, we actually have 3 pots. so we actually did it 3 in 1 in parallel.
So for the 6-quart pressure cooker, you have to have 4 cups of uncooked rice and 8 cups of water. You closing the pressure cooker, put on seal, press the pressure cook, put for 10 minutes or auto setting for a rice, and it's cooking and it's switching to warming regime. So if you want to keep it warm, you can do that, or you can just turn off and make it cool off.
How long it took for the chicken?
For the chicken, this is 8-quart pressure cooker. You put on manual and put 20 minutes. If the chicken is frozen, it's 30 minutes. You put 10 pounds of chicken drumsticks and put the water, make sure it's covered. Because if you don't put enough water in pressure cooker and the meat is not fully covered, it's gonna dry out. So make sure it's not to the very last, measuring line. Make sure just a little bit covered so it's not drying. For the mixed frozen vegetables that Alex showed before, this can go for 5 to 7 minutes in pressure cooker or 5 minutes on a stove. This is cut 2 big sweet potatoes. And
how long that takes on a stove, and how much?
10 to 15 minutes to boil in the pot. Pressure cooker half the time, so like 5 to 6 minutes, and it's going to be very soft. This is the cut big butternut squash.
Right.
You have to peel it, cut in half, take the seeds out. This is basically sort of pumpkin. So then you have to peel it and dice it and cook that. And rice should be 4 cups of rice, and double the size of the water. After everything cooked and cool off, you use high-speed blender. This is NutriBullet. You can use Ninja or Vitamix, any high-speed blender. You put some broth or water on the bottom and put some chicken, some rice, some vegetables, and mix
blend
those.
It in batches, basically.
Blend in batches, like half of the half of the blender, and then we're using zipper bags. Using sandwich size zipper bags, and
they become your pre-packaged meals per meal. 1
package for 1 dog. When we just start doing it, we measure it with measurement 1 cup measurements. So basically 1 can of dog food is 2 cups of cooked food. So what I do, I just mix chicken separately and then mixed vegetables and rice. And I use half a cup of rice, half a cup of vegetables. That makes 1 cup. And blend the chicken in a high-speed blender is another cup of chicken. So that makes in this zipper bag, and we store it in a refrigerator. And if you make a very big batch or double batch, you can freeze it as well and just defrost it overnight in the refrigerator.
What I wanted to add was that even if you're feeding raw and you're using raw meat versus cooked meat, the vegetables and carbs portion has to be cooked, because a dog is Canis familiaris, and it comes from Canis lupus, the wolf. When a wolf kills a deer in the wild and they eat the stomach contents of a deer, those have been digested. So the meat is raw, but the entire contents of the stomach are cooked essentially, because they're pre-digested. So to simulate, if you're using a raw diet, the meat can be raw, but the vegetable portion can be cooked. In fact, potatoes have to be cooked. Dogs can't process potatoes not cooked.
This is kind of too hard to chew, and when
And they
you
wouldn't
boil
chew it with the meat.
very
They'll just
soft.
eat the meat and they won't eat the vegetables. So you have
So
to
it has
boil
to
it.
be mixed together, because if it just puts chicken and next to it rice with vegetables, they're gonna eat chicken and leave the rest.
Right, so you have to mix it in order for them to consume it. All right, so through the magic of video editing, you saw the first 30 minutes go by where the chicken, the rice, the vegetables all were made. So we got 3 batches in the span of 30 minutes from the time we first began the video. We're about to put these to cook, and then we're about to shoot another segment where everything's going to be mixed. Please stand by. Okay guys, so through the power of video editing, we have the butternut squash and the sweet potato. I don't know if you can still see the steam coming off of it, but it's fully cooked. See how soft that is? This is the rice from before. We have the peas and carrots from before. Carrots have vitamin A. I'm sure you know that. And here's the chicken deboned without any of the bones in it. You don't want to risk the bones choking on the bones, so you have to take the bones out. So
Plus, you cannot blend it with the bones.
say again?
You cannot blend it with the bones.
Well, that's the other part. Right, you can't blend it with the bones. Here my wife used, can you show that container?
That's a vegetable broth.
Vegetable
Or you
broth,
can
you can-
use chicken broth. Either
Or
one
you
is
can just
fine.
use water, but it's more nutritious with broth.
It gives flavor too.
It gives flavor too. So basically, guys, what you see here is delicate enough to feed even an 8-week-old puppy. I mean, this is nothing here that will upset even the most delicate stomach. Plus, you know exactly what's going on in the dog's food, because there's no mystery into what you're doing. Unlike when you're buying a bag from a supermarket, you have no idea what they're doing. Now, dogs are basically domesticated wolves. The last ice age was 10,000 years ago. So I think we had 4 ice ages, which goes back 40,000 years. That's how long ago we've domesticated wolves to become dogs. Do you think they had kibble 40,000 years ago? That's how people fed domesticated wolves, which became our dogs. They, whatever we ate, they ate. So the refuse of the human eating became what dogs ate. Nobody had kibble 10,000 years ago during the last ice age. People gave dogs human food that was left over from their food and their hunt. And dogs helped us in the hunt. That's how dogs became domesticated, by eating whatever was in the fire of man. Those which didn't have the flight distance to run away became dogs. They basically domesticated themselves. So, Katya, I'm going to turn over to you. Can you explain what you're doing here?
So I put the chicken, I put the broth first on the bottom of the high-speed blender, because it is better to put liquid first so the motor doesn't burn. And I put some chicken that I debone and skin take off. Put some mixed peas and carrots and some sweet potato and then some squash. And then I'm gonna turn on the high-speed blender
Now, is there rice in there? Or are you gonna mix rice later?
Rice doesn't need to be blended.
Okay. Is it powered on?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, this mush will go into the other container, which will hold it, and then rice will be added into it. This way it's an equal mix of vegetables and chicken. That's why they don't avoid eating the vegetables and consuming the chicken. They're now going to get their vegetables no matter what. Now, dogs are not pure carnivores like cats. They do need vegetable matter, and they do need a certain amount of carbs. Now, in the winter months, you might want to increase the carbs and in the summer months, you might want to decrease the carbs because they're going to exercise more and have more energy burn. In the winter months, when it's cold, you might want to increase the carb intake, and in the summer months, you might want to cut down on the carb intake. It's
So
really
then you put the rice, you measure 1 cup of the cooked rice. The rice doesn't need to be blended, it's already soft.
and this is delicate enough for a puppy, guys.
Yeah, we used to feed the puppies with the blended chicken and rice and some broth.
Right.
When they switch from breast milk from their mama, so we were using the chicken with rice. So cup of rice and 1 cup of 1 cup of the mixture of the chicken and vegetables. And this is gonna be 1 meal for 1 dog.
What about the squash?
Squash, already put squash and
In the one
sweet
squash is
potato.
already in the
Yeah,
in the
it's
blender,
in
right?
The blender, yes.
So now that combined mixture of the chicken with vegetables all and the squash all mixed together, mixed with the rice becomes 1 meal. And my
So
wife.
this is basically 1 meal, and then we just put in a container, stock them in a container, put in the refrigerator, and then you just take it out for each meal for 1 dog.
Right, and then we're not gonna bore you my wife making each bag. I'll cut to the end when all the bags have been made. Please stand by. Okay guys, so through the power of video editing, Mrs. Van Ganta House did how many bags, Katja?
19 bags.
19 bags of food, which you saw prepared completely fresh. You know exactly what's in each bag.
Blended rice and then blended chicken with vegetables.
Alright, so 19 bags of food. Now here is my cell phone. I don't know if you guys can, I'm gonna zoom in. Oh gosh, it disappeared. I don't know, you saw Origin, grain-free dog food, grain-free, not the original version.
You can check on Chewy.
You can check Chewy. By the way, Chewy is a very good service. I have nothing bad to say about them. They're actually excellent. And I used to use them before we started cooking. Let me see if I can zoom in on that. As you can see, 23 pounds, grain-free, $211.99 on Chewy. Here's non-grain-free, the original formula, $100 for 23 pounds. So, $100 for 23 pounds is how much per pound? $2.30 a pound,
Yeah.
right? And if it's $211 for 23 pounds, that's what, $4 a pound?
Yeah.
Chicken, actual human grade chicken was what, 88 cents a pound, right?
88 cents a pound, and
So do the comparison. Actual chicken, you know, real chicken, not some.
it's basically cost us the cost of chicken at $12 for if you buy for 89 cents
Per pound,
and
right.
per pound rice. It's 2 pounds of rice, and then the vegetables, it's another probably $10-15.
So the total meal for all the ingredients, how much was the cost?
12 and $14 for rice and chicken, and then about $15, let's say $15 for vegetables.
All the vegetables combined,
All the
right?
vegetables combined, so it's
About $30.
$30 for
2 weeks.
19 bags of food. So each bag is one meal. We have 3 dogs right now, and one of them is Poppy. She's 8 months. She's eating 3 times a day. So our
Adult dogs eat
adult
2
dogs
times a
eat
day?
twice a day. So we need 5 bags a day. So we just made it 19 bags. So it should be for 3 or 4 days of food.
Now, by weight, 23 pounds of kibble is double the weight of this, right? Double the weight. This was 12
Right, so
pounds of
dry
chicken.
And
So even the weight of the chicken combined with the ingredients is still not 23 pounds, right? But in terms of number of feedings, the nutritional value, you have to give 5 or 6 cups a day because it's less nutritionally dense. So if you had to put 23 pounds at 5 cups a day, that's gonna that's not a lot of food.
And some of the kibbles makes dogs very thirsty, and it's not good for them. It's gonna make them dehydrated and
Right.
affect their coat as well. Our dog Bailey, she had a
Skin allergy.
skin allergy, and we tried
The chicken meal is not causing a
Yeah,
skin
if
allergy, but
it's-
actual chicken does not.
If a chicken meal and a dry kibble, it's caused her severe allergy, and she was losing her coat. And then we tried with the salmon. It's less allergic, but it's still dry food, and it's a lot of preservatives in it, so it's not a good choice of feeding the dogs.
So basically, the nutshell is that for $211 for the one which is grain-free, as you can see, we're grain-free. If you get the kibble which is grain-free, that will cost you $211, and it would not last for how many days? That would last 23 pounds. It would last 2 days at 5 cups a day, easily, right? For 3 dogs. Here we have the same number of feedings for a total of how much?
4 days, probably.
4
3 or 4 days.
3 or 4 days of feeding. And what was the total dollar amount?
It was $14 as chicken and rice plus 15. It's $30.
So $30 of money got us 4 days of food versus $211 for Origin, which is a high-end brand. Or even if you don't go the grain-free, you use the ordinary, that's $100. So $30 versus $100 is a $70 savings for the equivalent number of days for the number of dogs involved. In your case, if you have less dogs, it'll be more days. You know, it's the same.
In comparison, when we had 4 dogs, one case is 12 cans. We had one case would go maximum day and a half. So it would be $23 of day and
That's
a
for
half.
the low-end food. That's for pedigree. If you use Hill Science Diet,
That's
that
more
was
expensive.
$4.50 per can. So a case of that was $48, which was equal to 2 cases of pedigree. So essentially, if you're using a higher-end cans, and don't get me wrong, Science Hill Diet is a good brand. I'm not saying anything bad about the brand, but I'm comparing home cooked on a number of days of feeding and the amount of food for the number of dogs versus the money spent. So a high-end brand like a Science Hill Diet, which is a very good brand, but that only lasted $4.50 a can. So a case of 12 cans was about $50 almost, and you need about 2 cases for 1 dog for 2 days.
No, 2 cans a day for 1 dog.
So how
So
many days
it'd
was
be
that?
6.
So a case,
No, it would be 7 cans a day for
For-
4 dogs.
For 4 dogs, right? So if you add the combined cost, it was $255 for 6 cases, right? 2 Science Hill diet and 4 pedigree. To keep the cost down, our dog Lucky required Science Hill diet. She's no longer with us. But that's not the point of this video. The bottom line is that the cost savings of doing this is significant, and you know exactly what's going into your food. This is homemade. You know exactly what's in it, and you can't go wrong feeding your dog what you know is in the food. Now, when you're training a dog, I do a maintenance training on the other dogs, and I do more feedings for training for my puppy Bella, who's now 8 months old. Some of her meals come through training. So instead of getting a meal in a bulk, she gets a meal through training. One meal is for tracking, one meal is for obedience, and several obedience sessions a day. So some of the meals will come in the form of training. So this will be slightly differently consumed than if I was just feeding without training. Some of my training meals are for training. I'm not using this. But what I'm saying is, if you were just doing straight feeding without training, and not substituting a training meal for a regular meal, then this would be the number of days it would take. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this was instructive. Katya, say goodbye to the audience.
Bye. Let us know if you want to have more content about cooking for dogs, and if you have any suggestion or the ingredients you're using maybe yourself. And please check the link below the video for the vitamins I'm giving our dogs every day. And our dog Belly, she's 7. She started to develop arthritis, and it significantly improved her walking ability up the stairs. She's limping less. So
actually, she stopped limping after we're giving her the
almost completely stopped limping.
After giving her the joint supplement, it really improved it. It was very visible.
Yeah, and they like the taste because it says that it's
liver flavor
or chicken flavor. So they really like it. It's not chemical induced flavor.
Okay, guys, take care. See you soon.
Bye bye.